Friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the user story. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in software development and using the Scrum framework for managing the software development projects. So let's just start, friend. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, user story is a very we can say a common term whenever we talk about a Scrum framework, which is used this terminology. Scrum in the Scrum user story is basically a concise or informal description of a feature or functionality from the end user's perspective. Let me give you an example here for a user story. For example, you are implementing an e-commerce store, for example, and customer want that the user can do the payment through the credit card, for example. So this is a feature which he required in the e-commerce solution. So this feature will be considered as a user story in Scrum framework. Also, user can select the product from the catalog of products. Okay, so this is also an option. This is also a feature. So that is why it is called as a user story. Customer user can add a product or can add an order in the card. Okay, so this will also consider as a feature. So basically user requirement or feature or functionality is called as a user story in general sense. Basically, user stories are a key part of the product backlog and play a central role in the agile development process. When we know that the Scrum is basically based on the agile methodology, agile philosophy. Basically, agile says that the things should be a project should be divided into smaller chunks, and which is called as the iteration. And the iteration in with the each iteration we become closer to the closure of the product. And the product backlog is basically the collection of all the user stories. We can say collection of all the features required for the completion of a project. So for example, if there are 40 features e-commerce solution, so product backlog will contain the 40. Now a user story typically follows a specific format. For example, as a user role, okay, I want, so things you will notice as user role, goal, and benefits. So these three things stay user role, goal, and now we will discuss in detail. User role, what it is basically a persona who benefit from the, it helps define who the is in for. Okay. Next is the goal. Goal means that actually what wants to the film. Then after the story or after what he will get from the feature or, so these three things should or must exist in every user story: user role, goal, and benefit. Now let me give you an example here of a user story. I want to be able to save items to my wish list so that I can easily keep track of products I'm no, you will definitely, this is the user role here. Okay. Now the goal is to save items to my wish list. So this is the goal. I mean, as a registered customer, which is the user, I can easily. So user role, goal, and benefits must be existed in every user story. When user stories are intentionally kept brief and focused, allowing for efficient communication between the development team and the product owner. Why? Because basically, friend, what happened that um, whenever we are planning for sprints, a sprint is a 3 to 4 week time period in which we have to complete the planning, development, and testing of the user stories. User stories, if are brief, if are concise and to the point, it will be beneficial for the product team as well. They serve as a placeholder for discussions between team members to clarify requirements, estimating the efforts, and define acceptance criteria. Stories are prioritized within the product backlog based on their value and importance to the product's overall goal. So basically, friend, the Scrum is overall focused on the completion of the user stories. That means the features required in the product. So if those features are clearly defined, so obviously it is beneficial not only for the customer but also for the product owner and the Scrum team especially as well, because Scrum team is basically a team who is implementing the user stories. If user stories obviously are not clear that what is the goal, what is the benefit, what is the user role, so obviously it will become a huge problem for the Scrum team as well, who is basically going to deploy, who is going to develop the feature. So if that means a feature is not clear to the to the Scrum team, obviously they will not be able to correctly or efficiently develop the feature in the product, and obviously the product will be failed in that case as well. So during the sprint planning, the development team select user stories from the product backlog to work on the upcoming sprint. This is a normal practice that is called a sprint planning meeting. The user stories serve as the basis for creating the task, estimating the work, determining the scope of the sprint. So all the decomposition of the task are basically based on the user story, and also the estimation of user story. That means how much time is required to complete a feature, how much complexity is there, is also depend on the user story as well. So as the sprint progresses, user stories are developed, tested, and integrated into the product increment. So the goal is to deliver functional, valuable increments of the product in each sprint while ensuring alignment with the product owner's vision and the user needs as well. So friend, I hope that you can understand the importance of the user story clarification, user story importance. So friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with the friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video.